Recording in progress.
I'd like to call the meeting to order of the Conservation Commission Inland Wetlands Agency, November 18th, 2020, 6:32. Roll call?
Greg Palmer,
Here.
Tom Murphy,
Here.
Ned Dalton here, Joe Paletta, George Tupance, Luigi Cavallo, Pierre Moran,
Here.
Charles Belleville, Scott Tierman, Ed Norton.
And can you read the ground?
Ground rules for Conservation Commission Inland Wetland Agency. Number one, applicant or his representative will make, will make his formal presentation to the commission stating the proposed regulated activities, the wetland impacts, and the alternatives which were considered by the applicant. Two, all comments, discussion, and observations shall be made through the chairman after proper recognition by the chairman. This is necessary to ensure that only one person at a time speaks on any issue, thus making it easier for everyone to understand and for clear legal transcription. Excuse me. Three, all persons addressing the commission shall begin by first clearly stating their name and address for the record. If necessary, the person may be asked to spell his name for the record. Four, following the presentation of the application, the Conservation Commission Inland Wetland Agency will ask specific questions of the applicant. Five, after the commission has asked its questions of the applicant, the chairman shall allow any members of the public who wish to speak either in favor of this application or against it to address the commission. Six, the chairman shall then allow the applicant to respond to comments of the members of the general public. Seven, the chairman shall then allow any members of the general public who wish to present any additional information or clarifying discussion to do so. Eight, the chairman shall then provide an opportunity for the applicant to respond to these additional remarks if he or his representative so wishes. Nine, the Conservation Commission Inland Wetland Agency has 35 days from the date the public hearing commences to complete a public hearing. Excuse me. The commission may ask the applicant for a 35-day extension of the public hearing period if the commission requires any additional information or wishes to schedule a site walk to observe the situation for themselves. 10, the Conservation Commission Inland Wetland Agency has 35 days from the date when the public hearing is closed to render its decision. Legal notice. For application. Legal notice. The Conservation Commission Inland Wetland Agency of the Town of Watertown will hold a public hearing at 6:30 on Thursday, November 18th, 2021 at Watertown Hall Council Chambers, 61 Echo Lake Road, Watertown, Connecticut, to hear and act upon the following application. Application number 2021-34 of Ronald Nevers Jr. for installation of a sealed geothermal polyethylene piping circuit system in a pond to provide year-round HVAC for an existing home at 5 Plungers Road, Watertown, Connecticut. At this hearing, interested persons may be heard and written communications received. A copy of the application is on file and at the Land Use Office at Watertown Town Hall, 61 Echo Lake Road, Watertown, Connecticut. Dated in Watertown, Connecticut, this 4th day of November, 2021. Dated in Watertown, Connecticut, this 11th day of November, 2021. Edwin Dalton, Secretary.
Public participate. Anybody from the public wishing to speak?
Mr. Chairman, this is a public hearing,
Yes. I was just
not
doing
public participation.
a roll call down the street. Public hearing, application 2021-34, Ronald Nevers Jr. for the installation of a sealed geothermal polyethylene piping circuit system in a pond to provide year-round HVAC for an existing home at 5 Plungers Road, Watertown. You can go up to the mic, sir. Just state your name and address.
Ron Nevers, 5 Plungers Road.
We went out, obviously did a site walk, Saturday. Do you have any other thing to add or to this, or no? What you found out?
For me, I guess it would just be if you had any questions. I think the information's been presented clear as far as I understand, but if you have questions, then please.
Mr. Chairman, since this is a public hearing, and if you can just briefly explain what your
Yeah.
project is, in case
Sure.
if somebody has a question.
Yes, absolutely.
Because maybe somebody wasn't here at the last meeting.
Sure.
That they know what is going on.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so we're going to run a circuit, it'll be 2 lines, supply return, 1.25 diameter polyethylene line from my home mechanical room, which is in the basement, about 150 feet to our pond on 5 Plunges Road. It'll be a approximately 4-foot deep trench by 2 foot wide. And, you know, the pipe will be bedded with sand and so on below frost line to protect the pipe. And then we'll run polyethylene tubing in a header out into the pond. And in the center of the pond, in the center of our property, then we will then sink that header assembly with cinder blocks to secure it to the bottom area of the pond. And the piping will be filled with glycol, non-toxic glycol antifreeze with the intention of keeping it from freezing and avoid any contaminating of the water if there were to be any kind of failure of the system. So,
Any members from the commission have any questions on this?
I do. Last time you were here, we had talked about maybe you going to the Department of Environmental Protection and asking about a permit if necessary to do such a thing.
yeah. Yeah, that I have not done.
Is it necessary? I mean, do we even know? We put that out to you to go see if it was even necessary and if it was
Right.
then necessary to do it.
Right. To my knowledge, it's not necessary, but I don't know the answer from beyond that. To me, you guys are the authority. I didn't go beyond that. So it could be that there's something there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm asking, you. I mean, this is your field, right? You do this for a living.
Yes.
So ordinarily, do you have to do that when you do it in other ponds?
Well, this is a little bit unfamiliar territory because it's a pond. In that way, it's a little bit of a unique system. Generally, people have to dig geothermal well system, which is generally straight down or on an angle. This is a little bit special because it's a pond. So if there is some stipulation on that, I'm not aware of it.
Right, just remember, this is just the wetland, so whatever other permits are needed, you have to, if there's a zoning
Sure.
permit or a plumbing permit, whatever, we're
Sure.
just the wetlands part. So
Right, absolutely. The intention,
we're only that step of it. Maybe the wetlands office can check with DEP on this, so there's clarification.
Actually, Mr. Chairman, when we issue the permit, subject to standard conditions, one of the standard condition is that this permit doesn't allow them
Right.
to just do the work if it requires other permits from other agency, including DEP,
Right.
or planning and zoning, or some other agencies. It is in our standard, and that is the responsibility of the property owner to
Right.
follow on that. It's not us, we don't do that.
Yeah, just remember, the town here, us, have no control over the water level there. So I think that's on state property. If they wanna do something, it's nothing to do with
right.
here, you know
So
what I
it's-
mean? I don't know that, but,
Assuming the application is approved, you're saying I still could have to take the next step with the DEP?
I think you should
Yes, I-
contact them to see, do you need any permit from them? Maybe not. Just tell them that this is what you want to do, do I need any permit from DEP? And they will tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think my biggest concern was that because this pond is shared with other neighbors,
Right.
did you get a chance to talk to the neighbor to see if they have any objection or?
Well, I did send them all the certified mail
Okay.
with the announcement of what we were doing. I haven't heard back from anyone, except the guy across the street that said he's totally open to the concept and it doesn't bother him.
Okay. But that is you will be responsible for that if there's any conflict because the pond is shared between your property and the next door neighbor. If in future there is any problem, this commission doesn't take any responsibility for that.
Understood.
Any other questions from the commission? Engineering have any questions, Paul, or no?
The only thing, Mr. Chairman, I spoke with Bob Smith, Torrington Area Health, just wondered what his concern is with something like this. He's more concerned with, as Mr. Nevers said, about the geothermal well that, draws water off of the property. Something in this pond he's a lot less concerned with, although he does get involved with the well, when he gets the permit
Right.
from construction of this. But he said otherwise, he's not that concerned. I was just curious. That's the only
Right.
thing I was wondering.
Okay.
And so he answered my question there. So other than that, I have nothing else to add.
Thank you. Anybody from the public wishing to speak on this application? Anybody from the public? No.
I just have one question.
You just gotta come up and state your name, sir, and address, please.
Should we switch spots, or is he just going to?
Well,
No, there is another microphone.
Tom Garoff, I live on 165 Plum, just actually right next to him. The only thing I have a question, it doesn't affect our water, our well system, or does it affect anything for our septic or anything like that?
No.
It won't do anything like that?
There's no communication with the fluids, it's just heat transfer.
Oh, okay. That's it. That's all I had a question. I was wondering if it didn't affect our,
Yeah.
anything to do with our stuff.
no, that's fine.
Okay.
That's why
Thank
we're
you.
gonna have them check with DEP too, in case there's,
Okay.
And how far is your septic system from that trench that you are digging for the pipe?
It would be, I would say, close to 250 feet
250,
away.
okay.
Because our septic's in the front yard of our
Okay,
apartment. so,
okay, that's good. It's safe for your septic,
Yes.
okay.
no other questions, then make a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close public hearing for application 2021-34.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any question on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you, sir. You're good.
Great. Thank you.
Action on the minutes. One, regular meeting, October 14th, 2021. Did everybody receive the minutes and review them?
I did, I got a question on them.
Yes, sir.
I wasn't here, so I'm gonna abstain, so is that gonna be an issue with only 3 people? We should maybe table until next meeting when people
Okay.
are here that we're in it, because I don't
Makes
think it's
sense.
fair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a motion, we table the minutes.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you. Pending applications, application 2021-33, Michael Jed for 2-lot subdivision and construction of a single-family home driveway and on-site septic on Lot 8, Sandbank Road, Concord Drive, Watertown. It should be red. Is like a red light there?
There we go.
There you go.
Okay. Good evening. For the record, my name is Emily Jones, professional engineer with Civil One in Woodbury. Thank you for coming out to the site on Saturday for the site walk. I think it was helpful and informative. I believe that the only outstanding question from, that was raised during the site walk was that we noticed a ditch as we were walking up the driveway center line, and the ditch appeared to connect to the wetland area on the property. And so we had our soil scientist, Ian Cole, revisit the property. He had seen the ditch in June when he flagged the wetlands, and it is a hand-dug ditch. It is a man-made ditch that was, he estimated was dug, just maybe months before he was out there. I'm not sure why, I'm not a farmer or agriculturalist, so I don't know. I can't speak to that purpose, but it was his concern that that ditch would have a negative impact eventually on that wetland area. And because the ditch is not a jurisdictional wetland, he would like to see it backfilled with the native material that was removed from the ditch, which is still visible alongside it, seeded, hayed, erosion control installed, and that would preserve the integrity of the actual wetland that's in that area. And additionally, because the driveway is in fill in that location, we were at about station 1 + 50 on the driveway up to the house. We did put in a stone seepage envelope underneath, about 10 feet wide, under the driveway at existing grade. It shouldn't see a lot of drainage, it shouldn't see any, calculatable flow, but in instances where it's wet and where there might be some natural draw towards that point down the hill, it won't interrupt that. But the ditch itself should go. So the applicant is amenable to restoring that area and bringing it back to natural conditions, and I think that was it.
Any questions from the commission on this?
Reading what they said, seems okay. I just don't know about putting maybe a pipe. It's still gonna be a depression there. The water, if that wetland filled up,
Right.
would still run there.
It would still, run slowly through there, and
Right.
so that's what we have the stone, the broken stone, larger than gravel or crushed stone, but in a 10-foot by 3-foot envelope under the driveway to allow that water to pass through.
Just wonder if that'll collect sediment and clog after a while, because it's.
So
just
there
gonna
is a
be-
filter fabric in there too, so it could be maintained.
But a pipe could be put in at a higher level, no, correct?
So there wasn't a lot of flow anticipated to that point that would sort of justify a 12 or 15-inch pipe through there.
Right.
We're not against a pipe,
Right.
if it's the commission's preference that a 12-inch pipe be placed at grade, I think we're totally fine with that. It's, our opinion that the seepage envelope would perform a similar capacity as that in sort of a more natural way. But
Any other questions from the commission? Any questions from wetlands?
Mr. Chairman, since this is not a water course, I think we leave it to the homeowner to see how they want to do it. It will be their responsibility. If the crush system doesn't help, then they have to put a pipe. It's not a regulated area. They can make that change whenever they want. But what they proposed at this time, I think I agree with them. But my question is that, are you going to fill the entire length of that ditch, or only where the
Yes.
crossing is?
no, the entire
The entire Okay,
length.
if that happens, then they block the water, and actually that's a good idea, because I want the water to stay in the wetlands
Yes.
and then seep it through the soil slowly
Yes.
instead of running from the wetlands.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any channel coming out of that wetland,
Did you get a chance to talk to Torrington Area Health District about the septic system? Did he approve those locations? or-
They haven't approved it yet. The application is pending, and I'm not sure what the holdup is, but certainly we need that, approval before final.
It's a good idea to have it before you go to P&Z?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
You should have it.
we'll start bugging them.
Paul, do you have anything on this?
No, Mr. Chairman, I did review the revised plans. I wrote a memo quick and I agree with Emily's, changes, and I have no problem with the crushed stone envelope under the driveway. I don't think there's enough flow to warrant a pipe.
Well, you didn't submit anything on that, how that was gonna be done, a print or?
Yes,
Just in
it
red.
should be
Oh, is it
in well, I submitted electronic copies, and then now Musa has
I
hard
just give
copies
you
as
that.
well,
It is,
so,
it is shown on the map.
Is it?
Yes.
yeah. And I have a large copy too, I can put, so, on sheet 2.2 is sort of the closest view of the plan view, and it shows the existing ditch to be backfilled, seeded, and hayed per the soil scientist recommendation. It shows a 10-foot wide seepage envelope at existing grade, and then some additional erosion and sedimentation control. And then I added the seepage envelope also to the driveway profile on sheet 3.1. And then there's a detail for it on sheet 5.1, showing filter fabric and a basically 2-foot thick layer of 3-inch crushed stone. We'll at existing grade, you excavate down to get maybe 6 inches of topsoil out, and that's where you'll start the broken stone for the seepage envelope. So there shouldn't be a channel or a depression there, but in that location, that's where we'll put the stone. So, yeah, the plans that are submitted now are updated. I also added it to the construction sequence on the last page, sheet 6.1.
No other questions?
In case if you want to decide to approve this tonight, Mr. Chairman, it should be subject to standard conditions and also 2 other conditions. Number 1 is the 100-foot setback line on the lot. That should be the limit of disturbance,
Yep.
and it should be marked with posts and placards.
Right, that was in the memo, right?
Demo.
Yeah.
Yes. And the other thing is that you should get approval from Torrington Area
Yeah.
Health District before a zoning permit is issued.
Yes.
And fill that complete ditch in, right?
That is a part of their
Okay.
proposal, yes.
Make a proposal or make a motion to accept,
Approve.
approve. I don't have the thing in front of me. What number is it? Application.
2021-33.
1221,
2021-33,
Yes.
subdivision on Sandbank Road.
For standard condition. Got a second?
Subject
Motion
to
made and
standard.
second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor? All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
2, application 2021-34 Roundley for a junior for the installation of a sealed geothermal polyline piping circuit system in a pond to provide year-round HVAC for an existing home at 5 Plunges Road. Make a motion to,
Make a motion to approve application 2021-34, subject to standard conditions and, well, that's part of the standard conditions is DEP, so.
Yes, that is something that it will be.
Second.
motion made and second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. New applications. 1, application 2021-35 of the Old Pin Shop LLC for the construction of a driveway needed for the removal of sediments, vegetation to reestablish the flow from Steel Brook to the existing spillway at 115 Main Street, Oakville.
Maurice Fabiani from the Old Pin Shop LLC, managing member,
Your address?
20 Main Street.
You want to run through what you're planning on doing, just so somebody wasn't there?
The intent of this application is to construct an access road so we can get a piece of equipment close enough to the pond that we can remove the sediment and vegetation that is blocking the flow of the river, or of the brook, and directing it in a very difficult manner, so that the concern of the pond topping over the dam won't reoccur. The last big storm we had an issue that the dam was put to its max and the water came over the top of the earth part of the dam. We're concerned that we need to solve something here very soon so we don't have this problem again and possible worse conditions.
I don't know, Maurice, there was a letter from the town engineer on some question, I don't know if you saw that yet?
No, I did not receive it.
Right.
I did email it to him, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, we reviewed some points on it.
okay,
I don't have a copy of it.
no,
I was
Do you
on
have
my
a
job
copy?
all day long.
yeah. Any questions from the commission on this?
reading this
Oh.
for the first time.
Paul, you didn't go on the sidewalk, right? So you went down?
No,
and-
I drove by there.
Right.
Yeah, today, just saw the situation.
Maybe just run through this 1 through
Actually, do you
5.
want to read that into the record?
Huh? Because you're right.
Do you
Do I
mind,
want to? No.
please?
I will,
Yeah.
if you'd like.
Yeah. Because that becomes part of
Right.
the minutes.
Got this. All right, so.
Sorry.
That's okay. I have a memo addressed to Musa Rafi from Paul Benovich, dated November 18th, 2021, subject, the Old Pin Shop LLC, 115 Main Street, Oakville, Connecticut. I have reviewed the application dated 11/15/21 for the above referenced project. The following comments are submitted for your consideration. 1, the driveway for the proposed excavation will require considerable filling along a steep slope adjacent to the pond and surrounding wetlands. This will require filling into the pond and the removal of 2 large sycamore trees, among other small trees and brush. 2, stability of the roadway for the removal of the sediment is a concern. The base of the fill most likely will be in accumulated pond sediment, which will require a soil engineer to determine the stability of the construction method used for the roadway construction. Steel sheeting may have to be installed to prevent the fill from sliding into the pond. 3, without an actual property survey to determine the property lines, Bordier Realty LLC, the owner of the adjacent property, should be consulted for permission for the applicant to enter the construction area through their property. 4, an encroachment permit from Connecticut DOT is required for entering the site through the Route 73 right-of-way. 5, in addition to the local wetlands approval, Connecticut DEEP and possibly the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers approval may be required for the project. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions regarding this matter. Copy to Maurice Fabiani and Roseanne D'Amelio.
Mr. Chairman, based on the description on the description of this project, it is a significant activity, and I believe that I think Mr. Fabiani should contact DEP to get some feedback from them, because this is what you think that the solution to that problem is. This maybe they come out with an easier solution, or they agree with you that that is the only way to do it. But somebody should look at that as an expert to tell us exactly if this is going to work or not.
Dan Valentine from Titan Bond has been following this at our applications, and
Okay.
he's just been buried with work. So
Okay.
he would not have been able to get involved with this just yet. But he's had words with DEP about this, and he's not finalized all the conversations, but he's gone through other avenues with other people in his office, and for an immediate solution, this is about the easiest and most cost-effective to try to solve the problem and doing the least amount of damage and affecting the pond and any other water courses.
By putting all that materials into the pond, it's not going to reduce the water holding capacity of the pond?
Minimal.
Because you want more area for the water to stay there.
Yeah, there's
By
bigger-
putting all that materials there, you are not basically decreasing the size of the pond?
The amount that we're gonna remove will
Is equal to that?
will
Okay.
exceed what we're going to fill.
Maurice Fabiani Jr. of the Old Pin Shop LLC. I think one of the more important things that we're doing is we're opening up this channel that, gives this water direct access to the spillway. So what has happened over the years is that these channels closer to Main Street have been slowly suffocated. So what is happening that is, it is going to the wrong end of the dam where the spillway is not, and then it is going across the earth dam and then down the spillway. So I understand that, we're encroaching into the pond a little bit, but at the same time, what we're doing is we're allowing a closer channel to make direct access to that spillway.
I think on the sidewalk, the members of the commission, including myself, we were agree with this, that you have to do something to fix the problem. We are just looking at what is the best way to do it in the least impact on the environment, on the pond and other stuff. Since your engineer is already working on it, we wait until to hear from him and see what they say. And at the same time, the commission should schedule a public hearing because this is a significant activity. You should determine that this is significant.
Make that motion then.
With Bordier Realty, they've been notified, and they will have a letter to the commission
Okay.
signed by them, because they're well aware of what they're doing, and they have the same information that you folks received on Saturday at your walk. And they will prepare a letter and sign it and get it to you folks.
Okay, very good.
Actually, we're meeting with them tomorrow night, just if they had any questions, because there's two brothers involved on the property. So we'll take care of that, and they will get the letter to you, and they'll have it notarized at the town hall. And the other concern of, because we're entering on 73, we don't have direct access to 73. We're going through private property, so we're not building a new driveway. We're using an existing driveway to access this roadway, this temporary roadway.
Paul, if they already use the curb cut that is existing, do
Right,
they
it
still have
wasn't
to?
clear from this plan that he was doing it, but that'd be fine. I don't think he would need an
Okay.
encroachment permit.
I had a talk with Mr. Fabian in my office. I said that because other people's property is involved with this, we should get some consent letter from them saying
Oh,
that
absolutely.
we are agree
Yeah.
with this project.
Right,
And that's something between the two property owners. It's their responsibility to
exactly.
get something from them. But I want to get something in writing from them saying that they have no objection to this.
Sure.
Okay.
And the type of materials that you were concerned about, that what would bring in the road, it would have to be large rocks and ledge. Very
Oh,
little
he made a
earth.
good base for this, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's gonna be very little soil, it's gonna be a lot of rock.
Is it gonna be removed after, or is it permanent?
The intent would be is that it would maintain an access road. So if this problem were to reoccur,
Right.
we could access it again. We may have to remove some of it just so
Right.
we don't choke the stream up, the brook up.
Do you have a plan B?
Well, the long-range plan would be is to reinforce the dam. That's our
No,
long-range.
any other way to, a plan B to,
Well, you could come around through the back of the pond.
Right.
And come in off of Davis Street, but it's a long ways from Davis Street through the wetlands to get across the brook and to access this. This is the shortest distance.
I have a question. I wasn't at the site walk, so this might have been discussed, so if so, excuse me. So in taking away that area that's discussed here as far as opening up a channel to be more direct to the spillway, that fill will be put somewhere else in the pond? Will it be put, let's say, to block off where it's currently going?
We can't block off where it's currently going. We'd like to choke it a little bit if we could, but whatever brush and sediment, it'd be put to the sides of the pond. It
And
won't be
that's why
hauled
somebody-
off site.
And that's why somebody asked, would it diminish the capacity of the pond just
Minimal.
earlier?
Minimal.
Right.
Right now, it's in the pond now,
Right.
and it's spread out a foot or two thick, and our intent would be is to pile it at the edge of the pond, so it could be piled 8 feet tall and still maintain the same surface of the pond.
Of the pond, okay, okay. All right, and I'm somewhat kidding here, but so you'll remove the grocery cart from the middle of the pond now?
If we could reach it.
he said if you gave him a boat, he'd go do it. I said, he's probably got a boat.
You'll have one soon.
Can't make that a motion then for significant activity.
I'll make a motion that application 2021-35 of 115 Main Street, Oakville is a significant activity.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any question on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. That, the public hearing will be scheduled for next month's meeting, so it keeps the process moving, and then hopefully we'll have some more information, and Wetlands will give you the directions. You gotta notify the neighbors, and
The next meeting is on December 9th. Hopefully that give you enough time to talk to your engineer and bring more information.
I hope to. I hope his schedule will be a little bit better by then. I spoke to him yesterday, and he didn't see any reason why we shouldn't move forward, but it's up to you folks.
Okay.
Thank you.
you guys are good. Thanks.
Okay. There was a motion that this is significant. We need a
Correct.
motion to hold a public hearing
Yep, we gotta do
on
that.
December 9.
Make a motion to hold a public hearing for application 2021-35 at 115 Main Street, Oakville, on December 9th.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. You gotta make a motion to table.
Yes. Make a motion to table application 2021-35, 115 Main Street, Oakville.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any questions on it? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Carries. Thanks. Old business, one, notice of violation issued to the owner of 30 Jericho Road, Watertown.
No new information, Mr. Chairman. Just table it, please.
And then, two, discussion and application review process by the agency.
Just hold on to that until we do the
So
update
table-
our regulations.
Table
Please
1 and
table
2,
them.
right?
Yes.
Make a motion to table items 1 and 2 under old business.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. On new business, Conservation Commission, Inland Wetland Agencies, meeting dates for 2022. They're attached.
Roseanne tried to make sure that all the meetings are the second Thursday of each month, but I think one meeting, one or two are, we couldn't do it
The holidays or something.
because of holidays and stuff.
What about the one November 11th? That's Veterans Day?
Yeah, you probably,
My son's birthday, I don't know why I remember that so much.
that one's gotta be moved.
That's a Friday too, I think.
Thing,
It was the 11th this year, how was it next year? Should be November 10th.
10.
Yes, okay.
Okay, if you agree, you can make a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve meeting dates for the year of 2022.
Second.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Communications and bills appointment letter for Mr. Edward Norton as an alternate member for a term to expire January 2022.
Accept and file, right?
Yeah.
Say we accept and file. Congrats.
Reports and officers and committees, chairman's report. Paul, is any luck on the retention pond list and maintenance?
Well, I have a list, Mr. Chairman, of both our municipal and private ponds. I've been reviewing a lot, I'm going out and looking at them as I can. I'll have a full report of what needs to be done and, you know,
Right. Maybe
It's,
you could put on there when the last time they've been maintained and the brush is cut.
right.
I noticed the pond that Lovely drives right up to the top. I assume somebody should go in there and do something. It's right by Cheeseburgers is right up
Oh,
to the.
right, yes.
That's a significant
Oh, yeah, that's
water
amazing.
flow there and that should
Exactly.
be addressed.
Yes.
Do you know how any of the other work is on these,
Well, the problem is, this is a kind of a thing that's been done whenever, highway has a chance to get up there between the end of the construction season, plants close, the paving plants close, and before it snows. So there's a very tight window usually. So that's why a lot of these things haven't been done. Some of them, it's tough to even find some of them or get access to some,
Right.
so. But
Well,
yeah, that
they-
one on the Pondview, Straits Turnpike, that's a significant one that needs to be addressed
Right.
one way or another, so.
Will these be plotted GPS on a map, or?
Oh, we have them, yeah,
Yeah.
that's all part of our GIS system, yes.
Report from Wetlands Regulations Review Subcommittee.
We did meet, it was a public meeting. Craig, Palmer, Pierre Moran, myself, and Musa Rafi, we went over, reviewed them all. The Wetlands office has been minus an employee for 3 weeks, so they haven't had time to bring the changes, update the changes to the regulations, so hopefully we'll have those for next meeting. And in the interim, once they get ready, we're gonna hopefully meet as a regulation committee just to review them prior to submitting them to the board for review and approval. Yeah, so you just make a motion to table these? Musa, just make a motion to table these?
Yes, item 1 and
Table
2.
items 1 and 2.
Yes.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any question on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Reports from staff, none. Public participation, none. Adjournment at 7:13.
Nice.
Make a motion.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Nat can go to the
Second.
party.
All in favor?
Short and sweet, the way it should be.